Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes star issued strong Ferrari warning after Australian Grand Prix. The Mercedes duo secured a 1-2 to start the 2019 season, becoming just the 8th team to ever manage such a feat at Albert Park. All of the previous 7 times, the race-winning driver and the winning team have gone on to win both world titles, including Mercedes in 2015 and 2016 with Hamilton and then Nico Rosberg. Hamilton had earned an 8th pole in Australia but had lost his lead by the first corner as Bottas sped ahead and he did not catch his Finnish teammate, finishing an incredible 20+ seconds behind him. The checkered flag. Yet even more surprising was the gap between Mercedes and Ferrari, with neither Sebastian Vettel or new teammate Charles Leclerc making the podium in the iconic red cards. 5th-placed Vettel was 57 seconds off Bottas and over 30 behind Hamilton as the prancing horse endured an underwhelming start to the year after such a promising performance across 8 days of pre-season testing in Barcelona. Instead it was Max Verstappen's Red Bull who came closest to downing the Silver Arrows, with the Dutchman a 1.5 seconds off of reigning champion Hamilton. Yet Mercedes chief Toto Wolff is expecting a response from Ferrari, who are still hoping to end the 5-year dominance that Wolff, Hamilton and CO have enjoyed in the sports hybrid engine era. Analyzing the weekend, Wolff said, "That was a great day and an awesome drive for Valtteri, a perfect rebound after how last season finished. Over the winter, he recharged the batteries, reset, found his joy of driving again with the rally in Finland, then here it all came together for him." "I can see again the young boy I first met over 10 years ago and who dominated the junior series in 2008, it was a strong comeback and a really well-earned win. For Lewis, it was a harder afternoon, the start was not as good as Valtteri. Then we had to pit him earlier than ideal to cover the risk of being undercut by Vettel. That gave him a long stint on the tires and none of us knew if they would make it to the end, so it was hard to judge the right pace and he wasn't happy with the car balance. My feeling is that it can be tricky to find the sweet spot with these new cars and tires, and probably we didn't manage that today with Lewis." Overall, though, a fantastic day for the team and a perfect result in the opening race, including the point for fastest lap. But this feeling will only last as long as we stay at the circuit. When the plane takes off for home, our eyes will turn to Bahrain. We know that Ferrari have the speed to fight back, so we won't be jumping to any conclusions after just one race. We have a long season ahead full of twists and turns and challenges. We're looking forward to the fight. Vettel and Ferrari have won both of the last 2 Grand Prix in the Middle East, with Hamilton winless in Bahrain since 2015. It has emerged since the Australian Grand Prix that Hamilton had floor damage on his W10 and lost rear downforce, which could be the reason he was so far back on Bottas, while he also complained of poor balance. He explained, "I naturally had a lot more pace in the car. I would have kept the gap at 3 seconds but then the damage happened and I started to fall back. With a super early stop I knew from then the race was done. I knew I was going to be in trouble on the long run, so I drove well off the pace to make sure at the end of the race I still had life left in the tires." Next news: Red Bull admits they've built a car designed for Renault. Never short of speaking out against Renault, Red Bull's Dr. Helmut Marko expressed his thoughts following on from the race in Melbourne with new engine partner Honda. It's worth noting that the podium Red Bull's Max Verstappen achieved yesterday was, in fact, the first for a Honda since Rubens Barrichello in 2008 at Silverstone. Young Max was only 10 years old at the time. Verstappen overtook Sebastian Vettel during the race to secure third place, both Mercedes at Albert Park, after the Ferrari of Vettel struggled to keep pace. Ferrari is indeed rather confused as to where their seemingly dominant performance from winter testing has disappeared to. TJ13 earlier today highlighted the fact that Vettel and Binotto appear to contradict each other post-race, hinting at a team with very little explanation. It's encouraging for the future that we did not get a single warning on the engine side throughout the race, Marco told Speed Week. Everything from fuel consumption to power, battery and so on was always in the green. We kept the distance to Mercedes within respectable limits, said Marco when describing how Verstappen closed up on the Mercedes bear. Max started the season very well, he said. That is how you win titles, by achieving the optimal result and scoring points. With our car, he will be able to fight for the title. In the past, Dr. Helmut Marko has openly said that it is his intention to make Verstappen the youngest ever drivers' champion. Any slight validation of the decision to favor Verstappen over past teammate Daniel Ricciardo and ditching Renault for Honda, and we see that the doctor is keen to wax lyrical. That said, the performance of the Honda unit and the back of the Red Bull must be a serious kick in the balls to McLaren. We want more than third places. Continues Marco, but the team is on the right track, and if we talk about pace, then we were on equal terms with Hamilton. As a final slap in the face to their rivals, Marco turns his scorn to past engine supplier Renault. A manufacturer who Red Bull won 8 championships with, and yet were keen to throw under the bus once the new hybrid engine regulations came into force, unreliable and under power being the primary complaints. Now we have to work on the chassis as fast as possible. We need more downforce because we've built cars with as little downforce as possible in recent years, so the drag is not too great. But that's not the problem anymore. Let's see how praiseworthy Marco is with Honda as soon as things don't work out as well. Next news: the missing part of Hamilton's floor. The significance of the damage to Lewis Hamilton's floor in the Australian Grand Prix has been revealed in images of his Mercedes obtained immediately after the race. Hamilton had been left baffled during the Formula One season opener as to why he had been struggling with the balance of his Mercedes. It was only after the race that his Mercedes team discovered damage to the floor area of his car ahead of the left rear tire. As the below images show, Hamilton was left without the last, and largest, fully enclosed hole and edge flap at the rear of the floor. The inset image shows where the missing part should be. Although this part is quite small, it is critical to the performance of the diffuser as it helps control the direction of the airflow around the rear tire and especially prevents airflow from spilling into the path of the diffuser. The likely impact of the missing part is that it would have made the car very unbalanced, as the airflow over both sides of the car would have been different. This not only would have impacted on the car balance, and Hamilton's ability to push, but would have hit tire management too. Hamilton thinks the damage was caused on lap 4 of the race, because his pace suddenly dropped away from teammate Valtteri Bottas. I was quite easily keeping up with Valtteri until then, he said. Then afterwards I felt I was really struggling with the rear. From lap 4, that's when the damage occurred. I'm not sure where it came from, because I didn't run wide anywhere. Hamilton believes that he may have run over debris that had been left on the track from Robert Kubica's damaged front wing. As the below photograph shows, the part was present at the start of the race. Next news: Daniel Ricciardo told he needs more patience after poor Renault start. Renault driver Daniel Ricciardo's new boss has told the Australian that he needs to develop a harder skin and more patience if he is to make his first season with his new outfit a successful one. Ricciardo, who joined the French team from Red Bull in the Formula One off-season, made his Renault debut at the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne on Sunday. He qualified in 12th and was eager to make up as many positions as quickly as possible. However, whilst attempting to overtake Racing Point's Sergio Perez at the start of the race, he was pushed too close to the grass and lost his front wing after hitting a gutter. And Renault director Cyril Abiteboul has warned him that his eagerness may cause him issues in the future. It's not that he underestimated it, but as a midfield team we do not operate in the same way as a top team, he said in an interview with Auto Hebdo, per Planet F1. Maybe he will have to get a harder skin and some more patience at the start. Despite the poor start to Ricciardo's Renault career, Abiteboul is confident that his lead driver can still contribute to a team that will be chasing 4th spot in the Constructors' Championship this season. I am absolutely not panicked. He is an intelligent boy. In Bahrain we will have a more traditional circuit with more room at the sides. As a result of the damage, Ricciardo was unable to finish, and soon retired in 19th place. His teammate Nico Hülkenberg, who has been with the team since 2017, finished up in 7th place in a race that was won by Mercedes' Valtteri Bottas, who therefore leads the overall championship. Lewis Hamilton came in 2nd, with Red Bull's Max Verstappen in 3rd. The next race of the season will take place in Bahrain in a fortnight,